isn't your full training. This is your warm up. This is your primer. This is like a painter.
War, pretty much.
Yes. Like a painter will, before they start to paint, they got to prime their surface first. Exactly. They got to put the gesso on the canvas. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what this is. Does that make any sense?
I got you. That makes total sense. Yeah.
Sometimes what happens is the more likely you are to have developed some good basics and good foundation stuff, which is like what I'm trying to share with you right now, the more likely it is that instead of having to stand here and do this, you can actually fire and recruit the right muscles when doing the big exercise in order to do your bent over lateral. Your bent over lateral again is going to speak to infraspinatus. It's going to speak to the supraspinatus. It's going to speak to the muscles at the rear cap of your rotator cuff. Just as when you do your external lateral rotation, which is the side lateral and even a front raise, those things will start to speak to the supraspinatus and the weaker link in your rotator cuff construction. So that's one of the reasons why naturally in the beginning of my training routine, like with the warm-up like this, I do the pull-ups and dips. I go over and I do the bent over laterals with my pull downs and my side laterals. I'll do a set of front raises with external rotation on my delts, as well as an upright row. Now, when my warm-up is done, believe it or not, I've done some things that have a positive impact on my shoulder joint.
Yeah, you stimulated those areas.
So now if I'm going to do arms, if I'm going to do back, if I'm going to do chest, if I'm going to do, I can do that. I can proceed comfortably, knowing that some of the...
You're warmed up, ready to go.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Great for battle, yeah, I got you. Do you go by reps and stuff, or you more by feel and how you feel at the end of the set? Going failure, or what's your personal take on that?
Actually, for this is a warm-up, so I'm usually going to try to pump blood into opposing muscle groups.
Okay.
Believe it or not, when we're doing pull-ups, we start talking about back, shoulders, but your biceps and forearms will give out before your back does.
Yeah, that's right.
So what happens is, long before they even become taxed on the pull-up, these things start working.
Yeah.
I saw the difference in my physique, my package, at different times at the Olympia. The year before, I remember doing pull-ups and dips very, very regularly. In fact, every day. More importantly than the improvements in my back, my arms.
The arms and forearms, yeah.
So I realized that even though the standard, the traditional thinking was pull-ups for my back, to address my, the other part of your shoulder, the benefit, the payoff to me was actually filling out
the secondary muscles.
The secondary muscles, yeah. So you know what I started doing was, I gotta go back to that. I didn't realize how much those muscle groups come into play. And they're the ones that are getting fatigued long before anything else gets tapped. But the benefit was, in certain poses, you know, I was more impressive. So, as a person that's sitting down, organizing my routine, thinking about how I can progressively become better and present a better package for the following year, I realized some things I have to put back in my training. And this was one of those things to start. So, to answer your question, I think around the long loop with dips, you can do dips all day if you're a very heavy bench.
You're just going through the motion, yeah, but if you're actually paying attention to the muscle that you're trying to hit, that's the difference.
So 12s, usually around 12s and 15s for dips. On pull-ups, I found that 6s, when my pace is up, 6s are good enough for me. You know, also being a 300-pound guy, you know,
a lot more work to do.
Yes. Pull down. So instead of a pronated grip, supine, and I'm pulling down. Now, believe it or not, when I pull down here, what's happening is I'm actually recruiting all the muscles of my upper back, which are the rear portion of my shoulder. So my rear delts, traps, rhomboids, and the top of my lats, I'm calling into play. My biceps may come into play a little bit, but I'm really not trying to pull with my biceps.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to
all focusing on the back.
Right.
So are you gonna go full stretch or keep tension the entire time with the back?
Well, you always want to keep tension. Always. Always.
That's the most important.
Always. That is your body's, your mind's ability to keep a contraction on the muscle is how you elicit control. Even in the structure portion of the movement. You know, the thing that makes this whole thing work is your ability to focus your mind
Mind-muscle connection
on the muscle. Yes, that makes sense?
Totally.
Big over lateral, pull down, soft lateral. In your mind, you want to start to imagine being able to do that. Being able to do that means meaning to be in control.
Close the eyes.
By frame. The only thing that, because what happens sometimes, we get to swimming and we move. And we get so caught up in movement.
Momentum's the enemy.
That's right. You know, momentum in there. Momentum makes up for the lack of control. The lack of control means the lack of your muscle's positive response to moving that resistance. So, here we go. We're just going to take a minute, and as you're doing the exercise now, think about squeezing. Think about
focus on that muscle. It's cool because I love videos of a fitness model meets body with that mentality. I think it's really cool. It's like different worlds with the same world.
Think about it, none of this complicated to make it.
No, people make it rocket science, bro. Last circuit.
Last one.
Started training. 12? Same here, yeah. Whole life. Started your home gym pretty much?
I was actually locked away in an institution for something.
At 12? Just being a rebel badass, yeah. Getting into trouble.
It helped a lot because, you know, at the root of this thing is self-development. Seeing the power of your focused thinking. You know, at the root of this whole thing, the thing that makes an arm go from 7 inches to 17 inches, and even 23 inches, you know, is focused concentration. Being able to take your thoughts and focus them into a razor-sharp laser beam.
It's just like get into that room, close your eyes, and just focus on that muscle as you go.
And that's
the difference. That's
with everything.
Day by day, for a long time, all this energy.
Yeah, I mean, when you do it for years and years, after a while, it's just like, it's so natural. After that, it's just...
Thoughts are so much.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so we're gonna throw these
let's put
away,
it back.
and then let's get started.